site and that Twitter site.
Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores.
I'm ready.
Well, tell me when. Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1307, May 14th, 2024. 98 degrees on this day in 2013 and 32 degrees on this day in 1907. I would say the swimming season is upon us. I hope you've gotten a hold of Aquaside. They've been helping people maintain Great Lake shores for more than 60 years with products made right in White Bear Lake. These products are easy to use. They work quickly, and they control weeds and algae. They're registered with the EPA and DNR. They've been tested. Don't let weeds overtake your lake or pond this summer. Call Aquaside and describe what you think the problem is. They'll help you. They'll identify your problem, your weeds and algae, and make sure your place looks great. Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Rook,
Talk to the goose.
look up Tinkerbell, as in the Disney character. I don't want to hear from you. I just want you to
Just
look.
be your mute slave.
Just
here, huh? Okay.
look it up, and then when I get there, I want you to help me.
Okay.
Just find some information on Tinkerbell.
I have Tinkerbell on Wikipedia.
Well, you look more too. Is Tinkerbell in the news? Just now, be quiet. I have two notes on the Aurora Borealis, which has gone away now until the next devastating electromagnetic storm. One note is from Joe Carroll, who writes, "Are people that stupid?" This is from a USA Today article. Meteorologists have predicted that the northern lights can be visible on Saturday as well as Sunday. This was a few days ago. If you are going outside to see the northern lights, forecasters want to remind the public that their solar eclipse glasses can be used for viewing the phenomenon. I thought the whole point was to look at them because they're in the dark and you wouldn't really need to be protected in any way. Or are they suggesting that the solar eclipse glasses would help you see them? That I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume enhance the viewing experience, much like LSD would if you want to drop a half a tab or so.
And our friend Bill Stein up in Aiken, in light of yesterday's conversation, get it? In light.
Got it.
The
That's
Northern
clever,
Lights.
Joe.
Got it.
He brings out our old friend Robert Service and the poem "The Cremation of Sam McGee." There are strange things done in the midnight sun, but the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. I cremated Sam McGee.
Ooh.
Now, for you people, basically the staff, the Stein will define moil for you. Moil is another term for toil or drudgery. But the men who moil for gold, get it? Toil.
Got it.
And then marge, as that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge. Marge is an archaic term for edge, or in this case, shoreline. Think of the word margin. And Bill notes, our man Robert comes through again. Yes, he does.
Is it really, if you have to include a definition of the words that you've used, do you really need to use those words?
I think he was being helpful.
You're reaching there, maybe a little bit.
No, those are words that Robert Service used.
Yeah,
and Bill Stein
whoever.
was being helpful to you illiterate staff members, okay?
Yes, it rhymes with
That one
it
rhymes,
and
though, you know.
shit.
You know.
Exclusive. Where did I get this? Alpha News, which I find myself turning to now daily just to see what they're offering, because you're guaranteed to see items that just aren't going to be covered in the Star Tribune or the Pioneer Press. Not to mention, well, some of the local television stations won't do them either. But this is called exclusive. Mother says daughter was attacked at school because she wasn't Muslim. That's not very cheerful, is it?
No, I think that would be blown out of the water here.
A Minnesota mom is demanding answers after she says her 9-year-old daughter was jumped on the school playground by a group of girls who she was told targeted her daughter because she wasn't Muslim. Good Lord.
Not Muslim enough, not Muslim at all.
Shauna Larson told Liz Collin Reports about the disturbing details of the attack that she says took place on Monday, April 29, at Hidden Valley Elementary School in Savage. Larson said her daughter's third-grade teacher and principal approached her in the school pickup line after school to tell her what had happened. They came up to my vehicle and informed me that there was an incident. They wanted to make it very apparent that my daughter did not do anything to cause this, and they told me this was a calculated incident and that she had been attacked on the playground by 4 other students in her grade, Larson said. Well, in grade 9, what are you? About 4th grade, 5th grade?
Yeah.
Age 9.
Age 9.
Age 9.
Age 9.
Oh, okay.
What did I
Yeah.
You said grade.
Third.
Oh, I'm sorry,
You're in-
age 9.
Third or fourth.
You're third grade because I have a 9-year-old.
I ended up learning this was due to her race and her religion because she wasn't Muslim. So that was pretty jarring to hear, she said. Larson said she was told by a teacher that the girls said this was why they decided to beat her up. It wasn't until, I thought the Muslims were peaceful. It wasn't until the next day when her daughter started to bruise that Larson realized the severity of her injuries. That's when we noticed that she had a black eye. And we immediately took a picture of it. When she came home that day, I just kind of looked her over, and she had bruises on her arms and a bruise on her back and bruises all over her legs, Larson said. Larson's daughter told her that the girls pulled her down by the hair and started punching and kicking her. She told me she tried to get up, and when she tried to get up and go for help the first time, and I believe it was the first time they had gotten her on the ground, that she was trying to fight back, and they had told her that if she hit them or she touched them, they would hurt themselves and tell the teacher that she had hurt them. Boy, it's getting confusing, isn't it? So she just told me, so all I could do was lay there, Mom. Larson said. I was informed that on the camera footage, it showed them going up to her and punching her in the face and hitting her back, and then she ran off, and they ran after her, and that's when all of them go out of camera view, and that's when the initial attack happens, is what the principal told me, she said. Larson decided to report the attack to the Savage Police Department after she said the district did not. My daughter hadn't done anything to initiate this or create what had happened. This was just because of her race and her religion. So that was a big thing. Just the lack of action the school was taking, which I do understand to a point that the school has their own rules and their own laws that they have to follow. But the fact that because this was race and religion fueled, the fact that they were never suspended or expelled from school or redirected to distance learning instead of continuing to stay in the classroom, which 2 of them were in the same classroom as my daughter, is alarming, regardless of their age. Okay. Now she says her daughter has switched classes to finish out the school year. Originally, I did not want my daughter to switch classes. I thought that if anybody should have to switch classes, it should have been the students who attacked my daughter, because I feel like her having to move is telling her that she did something wrong and she didn't do anything wrong. She was just outside playing on the playground, but ultimately it came down to her just not feeling safe, and we let her have this decision, and her decision was that she wanted to move because she didn't feel safe. The sad thing is, this isn't just happening to my daughter. This is happening to hundreds of thousands and thousands of kids all over the country. Well, see, I don't know how the mom knows that, but maybe she does. This is happening to hundreds, thousands of kids all over the country, and it's the lack of consequences kids have nowadays to their actions that is creating bigger issues, Larson said. Larson also believes the circumstances would have been different if it were Christian students who attacked a Muslim student. at an elementary school. That would have been all over the national news. And it shouldn't be that way. Our kids shouldn't even be in the media for stuff like this in the first place, she said. The same outrage should be there for every child because no child should be attacked on a playground and made to feel unsafe at school because her attackers are still there. Holy mackerel.
So I'm also looking at the piece. I can't find that there were any repercussions for the kids involved or the administration or the school board or anybody, right?
No, I think that's the point we're
Nothing
to
at all.
understand. Yeah.
And this little girl had to change her classes to avoid these thugs. These thugs need to be expelled, and they need a scarlet letter hung around them. So this follows them wherever they go for the rest of their time in school and through college. People need to know about this. The administration, the school board, everybody at that school needs to be fired. They need to go
They're
right
oppressed
now.
people. They're oppressed.
Right now. Get out of the building. Never come in here again.
Women, in this case, girls, are really getting more and more bold.
Oh my God!
In
Yes.
terms of fighting, did anyone see the drone video
Yeah.
It's hard to watch.
of a fight at the Northtown Mall Saturday night? Apparently, Northtown Mall has an annual carnival, and it was during this carnival that police drone video caught the moments that officers attempted to break up a brawl. One officer was hurt, and the carnival was shut down early. In the video, a police drone shows a fight involving a group of teenage girls surrounded by a large crowd of onlookers, many with their phones out, apparently recording the fight. Because that's what we do now in this country.
Right.
We don't help.
Right. In
We don't
fact,
intervene. We film.
The groups swarm the various fights that are erupting, and then they just move on to the next.
A massive fight at a carnival outside. That's a cut line. Yeah, that's a cut line. 2 Blaine officers are seen trying to break up the fight, but the assault continues with one girl jumping on the back of an officer. See, that would not have occurred to me as a kid.
No.
That would have been something that would not have occurred to me.
And why?
Well, because that was wrong.
And
That would be wrong.
and you were grounded.
Yeah.
You had humility.
Another officer caught an elbow to the head and suffered a concussion. I was livid, Blaine Police Chief Brian Podani told Fox 9 when asked his reaction to seeing the video for the first time. I was proud of the job they did and the restraint they showed. The brawl lasted for minutes before the teens ran away when officers threatened to use a chemical spray. The mall was forced to close early due to the mayhem. So the carnival closed early, the mall closed early.
So they screwed themselves over from having fun.
Oh my
They
God.
screwed themselves over for having
What?
fun. Mike, turn my mic off. I'm coughed.
I see. It's supposed to be a fun activity for families and kids, but some people are wrecking it for everybody, said Podani. Podani says, see, what I would do personally, I would cancel the carnival forever. I just wouldn't have it.
Okay,
But here's what they're going to do.
Okay.
Podani says as a result of Saturday's events, fencing will be installed around the carnival. So they're going to pen them in. I guess if you have a fight, then it'll be contained.
Well, it will also allow them, though, to check IDs
Right.
and things like that.
If we have to shut it down and not grant the permit in the future, we will, said Podani. We don't want it to come to that. Why not, Podani? Just end it. It's just end it. Only 2 teens are facing charges of assault.
Are you kidding?
No.
2?
Police say this is the second time in 2 years that the mall was forced to close early due to a disturbance at this carnival. The carnival is set to reopen this week, running Wednesday through Sunday. I wouldn't reopen
Bring
it.
the fam.
Tell me who Podani is again? Is
He's
that the
Blaine
chief?
Police Chief
Police chief.
Brian Podani.
Well, Chief, with all due respect, those officers used way too much restraint.
They
if
should
you
have
ask
used the
me.
chemical irritants.
Yeah,
Right.
a couple of those girls deserved a full-on knuckle sandwich. Just knock them right on their asses and knock them out.
But
Seriously.
what trouble would the cops have been in if they did
Exactly. The chief has no choice. He has to say that, and those officers have to use that restraint. from what I saw,
Is Blaine in
restraint,
Hennepin County?
No,
the
Sonoka
restraint
County.
was not
Isn't
called for in that situation.
Well, my
Sonoka
point
County.
is that if a cop ever slugged anyone, Mary Moriality would bring in outside prosecution forces to make
Yeah.
sure the guy's life was ruined.
I don't think it's in Hennepin. Isn't
It's
it?
Sonoka. It's Sonoka. It's right next to me.
I looked
Right,
at
Yeah.
the next town over. And Kenny's point well made. If you watched the video, there were 2 or 3 gals who just kept coming back and attacking officers, and all the officers would do is shove them away. I don't know how you could have that
So
restraint.
they showed tremendous restraint.
Oh yeah, I'd
Oh,
have grabbed
yeah.
them and put them in a.
Those girls
headlock.
need to spend at least 24 hours in jail.
Can I ask a question? Because
may.
we all saw the drone video.
Mhm.
Was the drone there specifically because they anticipated this? And there's a reason I'm asking this question. Because I thought that when we all watched the drone footage, they did anticipate this because, again, this isn't the first example of a gathering like this. I saw it firsthand in Rice County at the fairgrounds. They had to shut down the fairgrounds because of this exact kind of behavior.
Let me help you.
Olmsted County did the same thing, Joe, last summer. Sorry.
My supposition would be that the cops arrived, brought a drone with them, and launched it. That would
What's
be my
amazing is
supposition.
that it doesn't change anything at all. There was footage of this little girl in where was it? Burnsville? Savage. That didn't change anything. That didn't bring us the results we need. This drone footage up in Blaine, that's not going to change anything. It's not going to result in the charging of these girls. Nothing changes. It
None of
doesn't
these
matter
kids,
if it's on
none of these
video
kids,
or not.
None of these kids are going to a Lutheran church Sunday. None of them were named Johnson.
Well,
or
none of
Swenson
them will.
or-
They won't feel repercussions for their actions. They're not going to pay the price.
And this is only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. They're so emboldened now that it's broad daylight at the Northtown Mall today.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal.
What's the deal?
It was Northtown Mall last night, or whenever this
2 nights
was.
ago.
It's over the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be somewhere else 2 days from now. And then
It's
after
business
that,
as
it's going to
usual.
be
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Right.
The center is not holding. It has stopped holding. The center is not holding. Around and around the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer.
What are we doing about it? That's the
center
point.
is
You
not
say this
holding.
over and over, Joe. You always say this. What are we doing to change this? We're allowing this shit to go on. We're sitting here bitching about it. Nobody does anything to make this stop.
Well, I would imagine.
We've got to take this back. Take
We're
back this state.
messengers. We're messengers. And if we are to be condemned for the message, so be it. But we're messengers. The state has gotten away from us. It's not Jim Schultz, who ran for, is he on today?
I can reach out to him.
He has a piece today, an opinion piece in Alpha News that he thinks
it's-
we've just become
yeah.
weird.
It's that one I was going to recommend everybody read that. It's really good. But where are the citizens of Blaine, stepping up and
I
saying
did
no
not
more?
see one adult in that video footage.
Yeah.
Not
Where
one.
are the citizens of Savage storming that school
And
and
our
bringing
kids,
this shit to an
are
end?
kids going to the carnival specifically to fight?
Oh, yeah. They're looking for trouble. No doubt in my
I
mind.
mean, why not ride the Ferris wheel and have a cheese
Get
curd?
some good food, and then somebody disrespects someone, and then it gets bigger.